started talking all about the drill press. Now this thing is old, probably about as old as me, but it still gets the job done. To help us learn all about the drill press, we have a special guest host, Miss N. You can't carry this thing around. And a hand drill, the problem is when you're trying to drill a hole, it can go crooked depending on how you move your wrist. So what one of these does is you know you're going to have a perfectly straight up and down hole every time. It also has a lot more power, a lot more torque, so if you're drilling through hard surfaces or into metal, you're going to be using this. And so basic features of a drill press, you have an on and off switch, which are old school buttons, simple to see. You can change your RPMs up here, we won't be messing with that. And then to actually drill, you use this to push it down into your material and crank it back up. A few things that we have to adjust. The first thing we want to do is set our depth right, because we can see there's no way we can drill this, right? The wood's too tall. We're going to drill through this piece of 2x4. And so to adjust that, there's a lever here on the back. It's really tight. And if you loosen this, it allows this to slide up and down. So we'll say, should be about there is good. So you just lock it in place. So once you have this set, and make sure your wood's lined up in the right spot, we'll just have a generic point, but we want to clamp it down. So can you grab this clamp? Good work. There you go. Just crank on that handle. And so what's important is to clamp your material down because you don't want to whip around when the drill bit enters it. So the next thing you want to do is you want to put in the actual bit. And so this is called a chuck key. And so there's a little circle here, and how it works is you use this to open or close the teeth that holds the bit. And so right now it's loose, so you can use your fingers. We want to open up large because this is a pretty big bit. So you crank it in, and you just have to turn it tight, and the last couple of bits to make it real tight, use this, there are gears on it, and you just crank it, get it nice and tight. So I'm going to loosen the bit. And let you try. So notice how she cranks it by hand first to get it semi-tight, and then inserts the chuck key in to lock the drill bit in place. And to remove, you just do the reverse. All right, so now your drill bit is in. So, again, if you had your woodworking piece, the project you're working on, you're gonna have a specific spot you want to drill a hole into. This is just scrap wood to demonstrate. And so we're just going to just drill an arbitrary hole into our 2x4 here. So how it works, make sure you're plugged in. Go ahead and turn her on. Then you just crank this lever down until nice and slow. Just like that, you have a nice, neat, clean hole. So go ahead, we're going to move the board over, reset your clamp, and slide the board over, and then I'll let you drill a hole. Even though this one doesn't spray much sawdust, we should put our safety glasses on. So go ahead and grab your safety glasses, put them on. All right, and go ahead, let you turn it on. So when you crank it down, just stay nice and steady as you rotate this. You're real smooth. You don't want to have to go super fast. Let the bit do the work. You just let basic gravity do the work.
Okay. So
start. Back really fast. When you release, you want to make sure you crank it back slow too, just so you want to make sure it catch your hand to your face or anything when it releases. that is the basics of the drill press. Fairly simple again, just one button that's on or off. That's all it is. And then once you get your drill bit in, you're set to go. You use this lever to crank it down nice and slow. Make sure you're smooth. Some things to keep track of. Again, make sure your piece is clamped down to the base. This just keeps it safe so you don't have to worry about it whipping around on you once the drill bit enters the wood piece. Or you can use this to cut metal as well. Also, you want to put a sacrifice board on underneath. And that is because if the drill bit's going to go all the way through, you don't want it to go into your base plate. And so you put a piece underneath. It doesn't matter if you drill into it a little bit. That's just to protect the bit and the base. If you are cutting metal, sometimes what you want to do, you'll burn out the bit if you're just trying to cut right in the metal. And so we have different little lubricating oils. You just put a dab of that on where the bit will be going, and that just helps keep the bit cool. It helps it cut smoother and faster. So that's the basics of a drill press. Do you have any questions?
No. Remember not to let go of this quickly.
Yep, remember, don't let go of that quickly. Wear your safety glasses, and always have a good athletic stance, well balanced when you're using it. And make sure, safety-wise, almost forgot, loose clothing, hoodie strings, ear pods, things like that. Don't want to have those close by because they can get stuck in the gear and you want to pull your arm in. That's the real danger, because probably you're not going to put your hand here and drill through it. That's common sense. Where people get hurt is because their clothing will get stuck. So make sure you don't have any loose fabrics or things that will get stuck in any of the gear. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time for our next episode of Tool Time!